Everybody, it's Positive Bluebird. What I'm doing is I am cooking up ground hamburger. I've added some seasonings such as parsley flakes and Italian seasoning and a little bit of garlic salt and a little bit of jerk seasoning that's got all kinds of other ground seasoning in it, and I'll let you know what we're going to do with this hamburger. Okay, while this is almost thoroughly cooked, what we're going to do is we're going to mix in the cheese. This is Tillamook Mexican 4 cheese, medium cheddar, Monterey Jack, queso quesadilla, and asadero. I've never heard of half of these, but it's really good, and I am not sponsoring the cheese here or anything that I am making. Alright, let's go ahead and add the cheese. I like to mix it in here because it's so much easier to work with and it doesn't fall out of what I'm going to do with this, and I'll show you in a second. Alright, so we're just going to stir this around. Hey, oh my god. That was a huge horsefly. Did you guys see that? He better not get cooked in here, I swear. Alright, let me continue to stir this around. Okay, as you can see, all of the cheese is melted, and now we're going to add a little bit of water in the remainder of the traditional hot salsa. Hot salsa, I can't even talk. The hot salsa. And again, I am not sponsoring any of these items here. It's just what's in my refrigerator. Alright, so what you do is if you've got a tiny bit in here and it's not enough for chips, you guys, just add a tiny bit of cold water, maybe up to here, shake it around, and then dump it in your food. So I'm going to stir it in the hamburger. Okay, an old trick I learned from cooking class back in the day, which would be 1990 or 91, is if this is a little bit too liquidy, it's going to make your bread dough a little bit soggy when it's baking in the oven. So what we're going to do is we're going to soak it up a little bit with the remainder of our cheese crackers. So I'm going to take a rolling pin, we're going to mash those, and we're going to just add them in here. Okay, so as you can see, the crackers soaked up a lot of the juices from the salsa, the oil, the cheese oil, all of that stuff. So this is going to be just perfect, and I'm going to show you what we're going to do. Okay, it's all right to admit that lots of us are afraid to open up the biscuit can. It's okay, you can admit it. Okay, so what I did was I opened up the biscuit roll and it popped. Yes, I'm very afraid. It's all good. And I rolled out a section, just a small amount. So I took like half the can and rolled it flat to where it would fit inside the square pan here. And this type of biscuit dough has butter that's already in it. That's what all those little dots are. That's butter. Okay, so what I did was I spread the meat on here, and we are going to bake it just like this, and then we're going to do another layer, and we're just going to keep layering it and baking it. And the reason why you have to do it that way is so that all of the heat and air can get through the top and all the way through the biscuit. Because if you use all of this, as thick as it is, and put it on top of this meat, the bottom is not going to get baked very good below the meat, and it's going to be kind of doughy and soggy. Okay, so we're going to do layers, and this should just take about maybe 7 minutes per layer to bake, depending on the type of heating element that you're using. So here we go. Okay, so it's starting to rise a little bit, just a few more minutes, and then I will do the other layer of biscuit dough and bake that a few minutes, and put meat. I mean, just gonna keep layering it. Ooh, it's hot in there. Okay, so what I did was I stood by the oven so I wouldn't forget because I have really bad memory problems. And I turned it on broil. I did have it on the bottom rack. So now it's got a nice golden crisp to the top. It's okay if it doesn't stretch all the way over, you guys. Don't worry about that. And now we're going to put the final layer on top and add more cheese. Okay, so it's baked a little bit more, and now we're going to top it off with a little more cheese. Bake it for another 5 minutes, and it will be complete. And you could always add salsa on top or sour cream, just about anything. So it's just one big giant, I don't know, biscuit hamburger meal. Poor man's food. There you go. Alright guys, and there you have it. It's time to dish it up and put it on a plate. And voila! Doesn't it look delicious, everybody? So I highly recommend baking each layer of the bread just so that it will cook all the way through. Because if you layer it and then try to bake it, it may end up really soggy in the middle. So right now, I mean, it looks a little bit moist down there, but not terribly. Alright, it's time to give this to my son. You guys have a great night. Happy Saturday to you.